Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm diving into my favorite genus. This video is for every beginner plant parent, but most specifically for my fellow Albertans. I'm going to show you my top 5 Alocasias in my collection that can grow and thrive in Alberta environment. Now, if you're from here or if you live in a similar environment, you know that we have cold, dry, long winters with basically zero humidity inside, indoors. And then we have hot and dry summers, shorter ones. So basically the growing season is shorter as well. These conditions are not great for alocasias or any other tropical houseplants. But I'm so happy because these alocasias in my collection are so forgiving and can bounce back very easily. If you haven't yet figured out everything, I'm a beginner plant parent myself. But before we start, it's great to note what alocasias love. They love consistently moist soil, humidity minimum at 50%, but even higher, 60 to 80 is the perfect for them, most of them. Some of them are quite picky with the growing medium you put them into. Some of my alocasias are in their original nursery pot with the original growing medium, and some of them I potted them up in aroid soil. But I'm going to show you one that's completely fine with regular, like all-purpose soil. And alocasias are great for signaling if they don't like something in your environment, like droopy leaves, dry leaf tips, or even that annoying alocasia cycling thing when one leaf dies off before the new one emerges. And so it's so difficult to reach that lush and full plant we really want to see. So yeah, I'm so happy about these plants. They're so nice. Some of them are growing so fast. Let's get started. Now, I got these alocasias in March/April, pretty much the same time, plus minus a week or two. So they used to live on my shelf a couple feet away from my west-facing window, and I got an IKEA cabinet that I transferred into a greenhouse cabinet 2 months ago. So this plant has been living in my cabinet for 2 months now. But even before that, they were very easygoing. Obviously, now that the conditions are same every day, they're stable and they get plenty of light and humidity, they grow so much better. So first one is my Alocasia Senneata. This is the newest leaf, and this plant is so gorgeous. This one is still in its original nursery pot, and it's very wobbly, as you can see. It's way overdue for a repot, but I love this plant so much. It's so gorgeous. Look at those leaves. It's sculptured, gray, shiny, thick leaves. This plant is so compact. I love this one so much. And I'm going to insert a photo on the screen for you just to see how much it has grown since I got it. And look at the corm. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, so many corms. So yeah, it needs plenty of light, that's for sure. It used to live on my shelf a couple feet away from my west-facing window, and it definitely needs a lot of sunlight. So alocasias usually need more sunlight than you would think they want. And it's very forgiving when it comes to watering it. And she's so reliable. It never ever dropped a leaf before she pushed out a new one for me. As you can see, it's got many leaves. So yeah, I love this one so much, and I think it's still considered a rare one. I mean, I don't come across this plant very often when I go to garden centers and big box stores. So yeah, if you, it's completely fine with normal humidity, but if you want to give it a little bit of a humidity boost, you can always use pebble tray, or invest in a humidifier. You can get smaller humidifiers on Amazon that are not too expensive and don't take up much space. I had no transfer shock when I brought this home. It only got those crispy leaf tips, which is a definite sign when an alocasia don't get enough humidity. But yeah, it adjusted very quickly to my conditions at home. Next one is an absolute classic. This is my Alocasia Black Velvet. This is the newest leaf, and it's pushing out a new one here. And then there is a new poppy plant here. So cute. Look at the leaf. And there are multiple corms that are currently growing out of the soil. I will see if I will separate them and propagate them. I haven't had much success with propagation, to be honest with you guys. But this plant is so elegant, so nice. I love the contrast between the dark green, almost black leaves and the white veination. Used to live on the same shelf as my Alocasia Senneata, and this plant is very forgiving when it comes to watering. As I said, I sometimes let it dry out completely and it shows no sign of stress. The only thing I noticed when it lived on my shelf was this plant will show you if she needs more sunlight. So all the leaves will turn towards the source of the light or even bend over. And I moved this one into my IKEA cabinet 2 months ago. So obviously it grows way more fast than it used to. But yeah, if you want, even if you don't have a cabinet, it's completely fine. The key is to give it plenty of natural sunlight. But it's important to avoid direct sunlight, especially with velvet leaf plants, because they're very delicate and direct sunlight can scorch the leaves very fast and easily. But yeah, I love this one so much. Okay, next plant is my Alocasia Silver Dragon. Now this plant is so beautiful. I love those silvery metallic leaves, and the leaves are so thick and rugged for the touch. And if you're bored of the green color, having this in your collection, it's a great addition. This one is probably the most easygoing Alocasias from this bunch that I'm showing you, because it had no transfer shock, no crispy leaves, nothing. I know it's not the best thing, but I let this one dry out very often and no droopy leaves, nothing. So this one lives in my IKEA cabinet as well. But the only downside of this plant is probably it's a bit of a slow grower. But at least it's not doing that annoying alocasia cycling when it drops a leaf before the new one is coming out. So that's definitely a great thing about this one. And I think it stays relatively small. I don't think it grows too big, but I just love, even the leaves are a little bit of a different shade. Like this one is more silvery and then this one is more green. But I love the veination. This is one of the coolest alocasias in my opinion. Next one on the list is a very unique one and my favorite one from this bunch. This is my Alocasia Golden Bone. And I love this plant so much for several reasons. One is that I don't supply it with extra humidity or even a pebble tray. This one lives in my bedroom, right beside my west-facing window. Sometimes it receives direct sunlight. Well, I have a sheer curtain in the bedroom, so I wouldn't say it's super direct, but you know what I mean. And so I think this is the newest leaf. And just look at the size. I love this plant so much. It's super unique. I don't see this one often in stores. I potted this up, I think 2 months ago when I got it in to an aroid mix. I think it's Molly's aroid mix. And what I love about this plant is just the color, the vibrant color compared to other Alocasias. It has bright golden green hues that I will insert a video clip just to see how it looks when the sunlight hits it. And this one tolerates drying out. And obviously when I say they tolerate drying out, I'm not saying that you should let the soil completely dry out and have it without water for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're not on top of watering, if you don't have a watering schedule or anything, it's not a huge deal with these. But for example, I had an Alocasia platinum and it died so fast when I brought it home. I was so sad because that used to be my wish list plant. And it lived maybe for a week in my home, and then it just completely died. Even the corm died back, and the roots rotted. So yeah, so that's what I mean when I say these plants are really forgiving and very hardy alocasias, that they won't necessarily die. Now, obviously, everyone's circumstances and conditions in their home are different. I'm talking about my experiences, what I had. But yeah, as I said, this one is very, very hardy and it grows so fast. I'm going to put a picture on the screen for you just to see how it looked and how much it has grown in the past few months. Last one on the list is my Alocasia ventii, also known as the hardy elephant ear, which is so true. She definitely lives up to its name. So this one, it's quite a big plant. I'm gonna insert a video clip on the screen for you. But I love this plant so much. This is my first Alocasia. I've had this one for a year now. And look at the size of the leaf. It's so nice. Dark green, purple undersides. No, it's not dramatic looking at all, but I mean, not Alocasia has to be dramatic looking one. It gives you the jungle vibes without being so fussy. So as I said, I got this plant a year ago when I was not this particular with my plant care. I didn't even know about different type of soil. I didn't know what alocasias wanted. I basically just bought this one because I loved how it looked and I thought this would be a great, like a great decoration for my living room. So it used to live in regular potting soil, which is considered too dense for alocasias. And when I repotted it 3 months ago, she was completely healthy. I found the root system was completely healthy. I even found 6 corms, which I rotted them all, but that's for another video. But the point is, this plant is not picky at all when it comes to what type of soil it grows in. And then it also tolerates drying out. And it lives next to my west-facing window and balcony door. Even tolerated receiving cold drafts. And when I say cold, I mean minus 30 Celsius degrees. I just didn't care. I just didn't want to move her while I was letting fresh air in. To be honest with you, it's such a great plant for feeding my ego and give me a sense of, give me confidence and just make me feel like a great plant parent. It's a heavy feeder, so I fertilize it with every watering, which is now that it's almost July, once in every week or a week and a half. It gives me 1 or 2 leaves a month. And yeah, the only thing that I find she needs is just a bamboo stick for support because the leaves tend to be quite leggy. And as for sunlight, she can tolerate direct sun, not too much, obviously. I'm going to do a separate care video for this one because she deserves it. She's my ride or die. These were my top 5 alocasias I would recommend for beginner plant parents. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any of these plants, let me know what your experience is with them in the comments below, because I'm curious. As I said, we have different conditions and we have different experiences with plants, so you might have completely different journey with them. Thanks for watching this video. Take care, be well, and see you in the next one. Bye.